why you told lies as a child is probably the same reasons children, right now, your children, tell lies. They learn by example. Children lie out of fear. Children tell lies just like every other person to escape really tight or really tricky situations. Now, when they feel in an awkward spot, they probably think it's okay to lie. I mean, let me just lie my way out of this. I don't want to have to deal with this. And then they tell lies. Finally, one of the things that we do not pay attention to also, just like careless spirits, is peer pressure. Now, what do you do when your child starts to lie? What do you do? One, be careful what you say around. Set the standards. Let me tell you a story of this. Now, there was one time during the pandemic, there was a lockdown in the federal capital of Nigeria, and I had stayed home for so many months with my child. And then it was the birthday of his friend, someone whose birthday also came about in the beginning of the pandemic, and she had driven to our home with her mom to bring a party pack full of goodies for my son, my 7-year-old. And when it was his birthday and it was still the lockdown period, he told me, Mom, I know we didn't invite any friends, so we have a lot of cake and we have Greek yogurt and we have nuts and goodies. Why don't we pack up a nice bag and we take to Tanto? And after all, she was the only one who brought her party pack for me during the pandemic. And I said, why not? We can just take a drive. We drove down to their home to take these goodies to them. And guess what? We hadn't seen in months. There was no time to socialize during the pandemic, and we were excited. And in the excitement, we forgot to keep to time. So guess what happened? I'll be right back after this commercial break to tell you the rest of that story.
Looking forward to 2021, and I can't help but think about what I can do, what I can add to the industry. I know, of course, the film industry, because there are so many young people out there that want to be filmmakers, but they don't know how to be filmmakers. So I'll be making a series of videos of step by step you can take to becoming a filmmaker. So I will be posting the first one on the 4th of January. The next one will definitely be the next Monday. Not everyone is opportune to be in a film school. Not everyone has the funding or support to be in a film school. So if you're out there, it will be a good time. Subscribe to the channel, click the notification button so that you don't miss out. I'll see you on the other side of 2021.
You're welcome back. I hope you weren't bored and you weren't desperate to hear the rest of the story while the commercial break was on. It's in the Children Nurture series, and we are talking when children start to lie. And so I was telling you how I drove with my son to his friend's house during the lockdown to give a party pack to his friend. Okay, so it was a curfew actually. The lockdown had been reduced to a curfew, and so at a certain period, at 10 p.m. we had to be home. But the excitement of seeing friends for so long, he went away to play with his friend. I was chatting with her mom, and we couldn't keep track of time. I looked up and it was 10 on the dot, and we were far from home. We raced into the car, quickly said our goodbyes, and I was off. There were 3 checks, security checks we needed to pass. The first check was very close to my friend's house. Madam, where are you coming from by this time? I'm so sorry, sir. Awfully sorry. Couldn't keep track of time. Look, we just left. We need to get home. Please pardon us. It was just 10 on the dot, right? It was fine. But we had to pass 2 more checks. And by the time we got to the 3rd check, we were 30 minutes beyond the curfew. And hey, these are the situations when you just tell lies. Your friend's chicken was about to die, and they asked you to come and help resuscitate. You could tell all those lies to get you out. But guess what? I had a child, and I had a standard to set. So what did I say? I knew we could get into trouble, and I said to the men, I'm so sorry. We got to see a friend we haven't seen in a long time. We lost track of time, and this is what happened. this is very irresponsible of me to have a child out by this time. It was not intended and this will never happen again. Please pardon us. And guess what? They looked at me and they said, go on. Please make sure this never happened. I could have lied. I was tempted to lie, but I was conscious of the fact that I had my son. Pay attention. Set the standards. Reduce the times that you scold, the times that you beat. It is not every time that a child does something wrong that you must scold it and you must beat it. Sometimes do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just correct that wrong and move on. That way, they're not going to be tempted to tell you lies. If you beat a lot, that temptation will be high. Cut down on the blames. That goes the same way for beating and scolding. Don't be quick to tell them you did this, why should you? You should have. No. And then, start up conversations about good behavior. Talk about good behavior most of the times. Tell them why it is necessary to do things right. Teach them and keep having that conversation. If you make a promise, keep it. Now, this is absolutely important. Sometimes you as a parent, you could say, you know what? If you tell me what really happened here, I promise I'm not going to spank you. I promise I won't spank you. I promise I won't get angry. And then the child says the truth. And you get carried away, you forget, and you raise the word. Do not do that. If you promise that you will not scold, if you promise that you will not spank, keep that promise. One more thing you need to do is check the company of your children. What company are they keeping? Those companies have parents. Find out who these parents are. Know them. And compare notes. Chances are you're going to learn one or two things that would help you to help your children cut down on lies. And also tell them the consequences. What are the consequences of lying? For instance, if you keep telling me lies, when you tell me the truth, I won't know. So if you are in trouble someplace, I will think that you are telling lies and I won't even be able to save you. Tell them such consequences and it is going to help them. These things are ways that you can help the child will stop lying. And remember, one of the quickest things we do when children lie is to beat, to spank. Beating never solves the problem. It never does. What does it do? It only helps them to master the craft and keep on improving on their tricks and ways of telling you lies so that you don't find them out. So what do? Dialogue. Keep dialogue going. This is vital. If you're able to do these things, you'll be able to help children stop. I hope you've been able to gain one or two things from this, and I hope you're able to implement it here and there in your intentional parenting. If you have any questions, if you have any need for help, remember, you can